In the year 1718, a lone predator is waiting on the shores of the Guinea coast. It spots a ship coming in. On its flag bears a symbol of a skull and crossbones. These men are pirates, and a group of passengers are rowing to the shore. As they get closer, the sounds of an argument can be heard. The man speaking is Raphael Adelini, the ship's captain, clutching a chest. "What you lads done is far beyond the brigand ship's code. The killing of a priest and stealing of the sacraments is a worse kind of sin." A crewman shoots back. "That's loot same as any other, Captain. The whole crew is with us and saying 'tis our property now." Adelini is not convinced. The breaking of their code of honor has cut him deep. "It belongs to the church, and that's whom it's going to, or I'm not your captain." The first crewman raises his rifle. The others grip their shovels ready. "That's how it is, then. You're not our captain." It is now clear to Adelini he's dealing with mutineers. They advance on him and the treasure he holds. "Evil bastards!" he shouts and draws his pistol. The shot strikes a crewman directly in the head as he swipes a shovel at the captain. Another he kicks in the face before the dead man can hit the ground. Adelini is fast. He's precise with his firearm and physically adept, but he knows when to run. The injured crewman fires the rifle at the captain as he flees into the wooded area of the coast. The others plan for their attack. "Get your cutlass after him while I fetch the others." Camouflaged within the greenery, the predator watches. He waits, contemplating what he has just witnessed. He sees Adelini trek his way further into the woods, and a lone crewman fast on his trail. Both are armed with swords and soon meet atop a grassy hill. Adelini has stumbled and appears exhausted. The crewman smiles to himself, ready to slay the captain and retrieve the loot. The smile disappears. He lets out a blood-curdling groan as his eyes widen with shock. Something has struck him. He's lifted off the ground. A large blade has pierced through his chest. He could not see his assailant, and Adelini could only barely make it out. For a moment, it looked as if the trees had come to life. Looking closer, it was a spectral figure, not of this earth. A demon. It still gripped its weapon, skewering the crewman as the captain rose and swiped his sword at the figure. "Die, demon!" he shouted. Sparks of lightning surrounded this figure as it released its prey to the ground. It appeared in view to Adelini. He kept his sword raised and addressed this demon. "Or are you beast?" To his shock, it answered. A distorted voice echoed. "You beast." Adelini swung his sword with all his might, barely grazing the armored plating on the creature's knee. It retrieved its own weapon from the dead body on the ground and struck back. Adelini blocked it, but the force brought him to his knees. By this time, the remaining crewmates had made their way to the shore and followed the signs of the disturbance ahead. One observed, "He's fighting a golden angel, or else Lord itself." They briefly watched the duel, trying to make sense of the events unfolding before them. But their focus returned to their greed and the chest of treasure still by the captain's feet. "No matter, angel or devil, the treasure is ours to take back. Who's man enough to go now?" A group cried out and came running in with swords ready. In a matter of no more than a second, this golden angel sliced through two men's chests. Another was armed with a pistol and came at the captain. He fired, but missed. Adelini had ducked the blast and in the same motion sliced the throat of another mutineer with his sword. The fight continued. More bodies and heads came tumbling bloodily to the ground. One of the crew was holding back, carefully observing. He gathered the discarded rifles. Back to back, the captain and the predator each held their stance. "Bastards!" Adelini proclaimed. The distorted voice echoed back. "Bastards!" It appeared all who wished them dead were defeated. There were no more to fight against, except, of course, each other. The thought quickly dawned on Adelini, and he moved away from against the beast's back. He kept a pace ahead of it, facing it and drawing his weapon. The predator did the same. For a moment, the predator only stared at the captain. It did not make the first move. Finally, the man shouted, "Well then, come on, beast!" Before either could make their move, a booming blast rung out from behind the captain. He groaned in pain. The remaining crewman had revealed himself from within the woods. Adelini fell forward into the predator and caught the dying man in his arms. The bullet hole was still smoking. The sword was still gripped in his hand. The crewman darted out and fired the other rifle. "That treasure is mine, demon," he shouted. He shot the rifle, grazing an unarmored portion of the creature's leg. It fell back. As quickly as he could, the crewman ran for the chest and grabbed it. "Mine!" he shouted. From the hill above, he could see the ship beginning to drift away, and the crew's haste to chase after the captain had not been anchored. A shot fired from the Predator's shoulder cannon, exploding through the mutineer's back and outwards from his chest. He was sent flying off the hill, hitting the ground dead. Staring at his kill, the Predator muttered the words of Adolini once more. "Bastards." From behind him, the dying sounds of the captain could be heard. Coughing and gurgling in his final moments. Blood ran down his mouth and chest, soaking the grass a deep red. He stared up to the Predator, holding out his pistol. Not a gesture to harm, but an offering. "Take it," he said, and died. His final offering, his gift to the alien for this hunt, had an engraving. Raphael Adolini, 1715. The Predator laid the captain in a makeshift grave. With him, the chest he defended with his very life. A loose piece that once hung from a necklace on the captain's neck held his attention. He examined the artifact closely. A solid gold crucifix. It glimmered in the setting sun. He threw it back into the captain's grave. This dangling reminder, it observed, to be not unlike the mementos it adorned on itself from past hunts. A familiar sense of honor and a code could be understood in a short time with this unusual human. He decided on a trade. The Predator pulled out his weapon, used in their battle, and unsheathed its blade. He decided to toss it into the grave as well. "Take it," the distorted voice said. The sun set on the shores of the Guinea coast. Raphael Adolini's ship rocked back and forth against the protruding stones. It was slow and silent, as if manned by an invisible captain. The sky lit up a glorious gold, and its angel returned to the heavens.